Here we go. So Florida is actually an interesting state. It's a microcosm of the U.S. And we, like many southern states, have a much more conservative legislature than the people. So while we've been winning many, many local victories, over 133 local victories, the Tallahassee remained, it actually moved from openly hostile to indifferent, with occasional flare-ups of hostility. But one of the challenges that we faced was, because we had been gerrymandered into such a conservative state legislature, that shifting public opinion did not seem to be having the impact on legislators that we hoped. So we began to step back and regroup, and what we discovered was, while public opinion was important, we had to find new levers that impacted, new levers of influence. And so during the 2008 marriage campaign, I spoke at Florida Blue, a group, an organization, our Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they were just forming their employee resource group. And I was told that their CEO would be there, but he would be leaving in the middle of my speech, and I shouldn't take it personally. And I completed my speech. I thought I did pretty well, and the CEO was still there. Not only was he still there, but he stood up, and he gave a speech that left everybody in tears. It was really incredible, and took a position in opposition to the marriage amendment. They were the first major company to do so in the state of Florida. And kind of like what Ted said, we began to leverage that single relationship into what became a program of ours called Equality Means Business. And what we realized was, here was a company that at the time their lobbyist, I think, was the chair of the Chamber of Commerce. They had incredible clout in Tallahassee. They were with us on these pro-equality issues, but there was a complete disconnect between what they were doing politically in Tallahassee and what their organization was speaking to when it came to inclusion and LGBT non-discrimination. And as we looked at all of the members of, say, for example, the Chamber of Commerce, we saw there were plenty of organizations that had 100% ratings with the Corporate Equality Index, or were sponsors of our local galas in their community. And we said, we've got to do something that moves us past HR and diversity and foundation funding from corporations to the political side of the corporations, and kind of remove the divide that stopped them from seeing the disconnect between the issues they were supporting or failing to support, the candidates they were supporting or failing to support. And so that was the genesis of Equality Means Business. And we decided that we would approach it in two ways. Primarily, we knew that we were asking companies to step out on some new ground, and we wanted to make it as easy as possible for them to do so. So we went first to the companies that we had a relationship with, and we launched Equality Means Business intentionally as a C3 entity, and we basically said, we want to spotlight the companies that are doing the right thing. We want to spotlight the companies that already have good policies, and we got some companies that didn't have good policies to adopt policies. And even among some of the companies that aren't currently on here, that we've begun conversations with, I'll use it, for example, TECO. TECO, like Exxon, was one of the companies that resisted shareholder efforts to pass sexual orientation and gender identity. And just in the past few months, very quietly, as a consequence of these conversations, they've added gender identity and expression. So the program that we launched was all about spotlighting the companies that are doing it the right way. And as a consequence of this effort, that targeted large businesses, we're now targeting small businesses with a campaign called Another Business for Equality. And these companies have become the founding companies in a C4 effort called Florida Businesses for a Competitive Workforce, which is the political entity that is pushing our statewide non-discrimination law. So we've garnered all the support, and we've also brought these companies closer to us and they fund us at a whole new level, and they fund our work at a whole new level. And the new face of change in our state is many Republican-led businesses speaking out for LGBT equality. Thank you.